Hey guys, alright, so the video down below is from ESPN, and this morning they were talking about the incident between defensive end of the Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett, as well as the backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mason Rudolph. And it was Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman going at it on First Take. I mean, I've always thought that this show is complete cancer. You just look at some of the things that they argue about. It's a very dichotomous, structured show. So you've got the one guy arguing talking points, and the next guy argues with very opposite talking points. It's very structured. It's very reminiscent of today's political landscape in some ways, or at least the old way between Democrats and Republicans. So um, basically, Max Kellerman here is making a complete fool out of himself because what happened last night was Mason Rudolph, I believe, he pulled off his helmet, went up to Myles Garrett and began talking trash. Now, Myles Garrett took Mason Rudolph's helmet and started hitting him over the head with it, and then there was a big fight between the two teams. The Steelers did lose that game. I watched the game. Mason Rudolph just had a really bad game. One touchdown, four interceptions. It was a pretty awful effort. I reasonably, or not understandably, but I think he went up to Myles Garrett, saying something about some late hits. There was a couple of those that had happened, and Myles Garrett took it the wrong way. But Max Kellerman is basically defending Myles Garrett here. He's saying that, well, Mason Rudolph shouldn't have started nothing. He didn't do nothing wrong, and and Max Kellerman. Let's keep in mind. I mean, this guy has been making a fool out of himself for decades. I mean, he initially started his career as a hip hop artist, and that didn't really go so well. And then, he used his ties to the Jewish community as a means to virtue signal and all this stuff. And he's just kind of an overall scumbag. He also has criticized people like Tiger Woods for saying, well, I have respect for the office, in reference to President Trump. And then, I think it was Tiger Woods who actually got awarded rather a Medal of Freedom from President Trump. And there's actually a really funny meme, little side thing here. So there's a funny meme of Trump putting the medal around Tiger Woods' neck, and then it says, and a little news chyron beneath, Trump strangles black man. I mean, we've seen a lot of these memes, and Mark Dice was at the forefront of this, putting out the video where it says Trump uses child labor to do White House landscaping. And it's like shows a kid with a lawnmower, and we all know the backstory of that. It was a kid who had gone out and had his own lawn mowing service, and he went door to door in his neighborhood, and people would hire him to do their lawns, and really cool stuff that he was able to get invited to the White House. But anyways, Max Kellerman, he really is making a fool out of himself again. And another thing too is that he has actually done the impossible. I mean, he has actually made Stephen A. Smith a very likable guy in this instant, because Stephen A. Smith is talking about, it's crazy. He's saying how crazy it is that people are actually coming to the defense of Myles Garrett, when he clearly was the one who threw the first punch, so to speak, who threw the first stone. So I don't know where Max Kellerman is coming from. Maybe he's got white guilt. Maybe he's trying to push that whole didn't do nothing narrative. I don't know. It's pretty ridiculous. And as far as Myles Garrett goes, I think that he should be suspended for 16 games. I'm not even talking about suspending him for the rest of the season. Suspend him for 16 games. Well into next year. Really teach the guy a lesson, because you should not be doing that type of shit on the football field. Anytime you should be violent against your opponents is during gameplay, not in between plays or after the game. That is completely uncalled for. And yeah, I do think that it was stupid of Mason Rudolph to take his helmet off and go talk shit to Myles Garrett. But at the same time, they should have handled it like men. They really should have just, used their words. And I get it, some people are going to say, "Oh, well, real men, they throw fists, to solve their problems." I get that, but maybe they should not, use each other's equipment to hit each other. Maybe they should go to the gym and have a nice spar or something. I don't know. That seems like a reasonable solution there. So it's completely ridiculous. I don't really weigh in on football that much, But I thought that this story was just so ridiculous, coming from many angles, that Stephen A. Smith, for once in his life, is the voice of reason, which I never would have expected. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I'll see you later.